to Digital Media Across Asia Wiki viewers. Today I'm sitting here with the APAC Managing Media Consultant of Dow Jones, Mr. Lars Voedisch. So firstly, a warm welcome. Thank you for coming down to share our insights. And I heard that you were part of the social media and PR conference just recently in Singapore. How was the conference?
It was in Singapore and it was in Hong Kong actually.
Oh, okay.
It was good turnout and interesting questions. On one end, and that's interesting for these kind of events, you have a bigger divide. You have people that are already way ahead and already engaged in social media for years. On the other hand, you have people that are still just starting the first steps. So it's sometimes a very interesting and challenging audience because some want just to have the latest edge kind of knowledge, the other ones still are struggling with the basics.
Oh, okay. That's very interesting. So how long did the conference last?
2 days Hong Kong, 2 days Singapore.
Oh, okay. So moving on to today's topic, well, of course, you know, in everyone's mind, social media is something that they really want to know about, and especially with the evolved media landscape of today. So what do you think are the evolution of media landscape in Asia Pacific, especially in Hong Kong or Taiwan?
The interesting part is what people that are not looking really into the markets, they all assume what they hear in the news. So it's all Facebook and it's all Twitter. And of course they're very important, but every market in Asia Pacific, including Hong Kong and Taiwan, have their specific facets and angles from behavior, but especially platforms. Generally, I would say the behavior in most markets of consumers is similar. Some are more outspoken than others, but it's more like the platforms that are used. Like in Hong Kong and in Taiwan, Facebook is getting more popularity, while in Taiwan still it's all about reach, right? And especially as celebrities are leading the way a little bit of seeing the large PRC audience, a lot of celebrities would go on Chinese mainland platforms to reach a larger target audience, and that's where also then more companies in Taiwan or Hong Kong have to think about, is that also something that they want to go in getting in the right context. Then you have, of course, like in Taiwan, Plurk, or similar to Twitter, right? But then again, you have QQ on the Greater China scale, while in Hong Kong it's more going direction the Facebook environment and the popular Western tools. What's interesting is overall that the top 5 sites that are looked at are more or less the same, with the exception of the special platforms. It's Yahoo plays a huge role in Hong Kong and in Taiwan. Not just the search engine, that's minor. It's more like a platform for blogs, for shopping, for discussions, answers. So it's that plays still a very large role there. Also with the with some of the large platforms like MySpace going a little bit declining in some of these markets, and transferring actually some of the audience over to Yahoo platforms or WordPress or these kind of things.
Okay, so given the popularity of these platforms, what do you feel are the general Hong Kong or Taiwan consumers' perception about brands having to be online?
Generally, consumers' expectations are just accelerating beyond what brands actually can manage. It's not just anymore about, okay, I want an answer. I want a brand to expect what my next question and concern will be, so they anticipate my needs sometimes even before I know them. And that's so it goes a lot into real expectation management, and for brands also to stand up saying that's what we can and want to deal with, and that's out of scope, you know.
Yes. So with this, right? In your opinion, what are the important rules of online consumer engagement for businesses?
First of all, I think what's for Hong Kong and Taiwan interesting is more than the majority of comments and experiences shared online are still positive. And I think that's a general misperception that it's all negative and brand bashing. That's not the case. But we have to keep in mind in the Asia context that Taiwan and Hong Kong have freedom of speech, and people are very, very outspoken. if it comes to politics, their daily life, the celebrities they follow, or the brands they interact with. A popular example just from last week in Hong Kong was a game show where you could win $100,000. However, one of the answers was wrong. It directly went online, people complained, and the broadcaster actually had to step in and give everybody an extra week of free access to that service.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's very interesting.
While just last year or the year before, there was a big incident in Hong Kong with Langham Hotels. They wanted to go out of Hong Kong, use social media as a forum or channel to advertise Hong Kong, what then in return would bring visitors to Hong Kong and Langham Hotels. So they wanted to play with the quirks and kind of anecdotes about what makes Hong Kong so unique. And that was kind of, I think, the foundation of basing that campaign was already, okay, we have this online, but we want to target the overseas market. And online doesn't differentiate geographic borders, right? So people in Hong Kong saw that and said, well, that's a misportray of what Hong Kong is about. That's the wrong way how you should talk about it. And I know some of the people that worked on the campaign. Okay. So when that happened, the marketing team basically shut the doors for PR and the social media folks that were conceptualizing the idea. And so then they basically panicked and pulled the plug, took everything offline and apologized. While nowadays people would more approach it in a way that thank you. First of all, thank people for their answer. Thank you for pointing that out. We didn't then apologize, get it right, say maybe something like, okay, so what are then the unique things about Hong Kong without making it a normal advertising brochure that you think we should advertise? Make it a conversation.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, you know, the word has been passed around, the fact that consumers are always right. So what do you think about that? Is it still applicable with the prevalence of social media, even on a greater height, or?
The consumer is not always right. And that's the same like in offline and online. The one thing that's just so basic, if you go into a hotel, and complain very loudly to the concierge or to the receptionist that you have a cockroach in your room or service was terrible or these kind of things. What's the first thing the person at the reception or the concierge would do is take you aside out of the public space of the reception area, out of the reception hall, and settle it there. And that's the same like happens online. First of all, sometimes people just want to complain and be heard. And all you have to do is say, yes, I hear you, thank you for your complaint, we are sorry. And that's sorted. That already sorts a lot of cases, online and offline. So first of all, give them a forum to complain and talk. Second, take it out of the mainstream. A typical example was when Nestle had the big bash about Greenpeace, complaining that they are contributing to killing orangutans in Indonesia because of deforestation, palm oil supply. It's a very long chain, but a good campaign. They left it kind of unguarded on the main Facebook page discussion forum. One thing would be to take it not offline, but thank you for pointing that out. Let's discuss that in this forum and guide people into this forum. So it's more targeted and less directly. It's not in your entry hall, right? That's what you always try to get people out of the public thing and discuss it there. So the consumer is not always right. There are, especially in the greater China area, as you know, people that are paid for either beefing up a company or brand profile or trashing it. And that's something that is in every market unique, especially in the greater China part. Ethical behavior online is different from other markets. Though the large PR agencies actually in China signed a memorandum to basically comply with ethical standards.